Hey, hey. So today is another faith day, another faith talk. And I really struggled with today's topic. Had to really pray about today's topic on how to address faith, what faith looks like. And I just feel like in this video, we've talked about last week, we talked about the Tony Evans plan, and I'm still doing a plan. I told you I do several plans when I'm doing a deep dive. And this particular plan that I read today is called Rooted in Faith. It's a U version plan. And as I was reading, it was just dropped in my spirit to talk about how I'm practicing faith. So, we talked about faith last week being present and in the moment, trusting that God will do what he's doing in the present moment, and hope is for what is to come. And so one of the ways that we have to practice faith, or that I practice my faith, has to begin with how I speak. A lot of times my subconscious and my conscious do not match. So consciously, I know that God is amazing. I know that God will come through. God has come through so many times before. My subconscious does not always agree, right? Because my subconscious oftentimes falls into the flesh and can bring doubt that will surface to the conscious mind. And so what I do every day has to be in my speech. How I practice faith is my speech and what I do each day, what I think about, what I speak about. Proverbs tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And one of the fruits of the spirit is self-control, right? And so really controlling what we speak, controlling what we think. Now, let's be honest, let's be real. We will be thinking amazingly, honey, and something will trigger a thought, baby, and we will go far left. What we have to do and what I have to do in that moment is really catch it and speak differently, think differently, because what we speak, what we do, what we write, what we think is going to come out, because that's what we believe to be reality. So practicing your faith doesn't always mean just praying or just reading. And those things are amazing, because when you pray, you are speaking directly to God. When you're reading the Bible, you are intimately knowing God. You are intimately knowing all parts of him, which includes Jesus. What we speak, what we think, and what we do is a reflection of how we are applying the tools that we use to build our faith, right? So if we are praying, if we are reading the word, however, our thoughts, our speech, and our actions are against what the word says, are against what we are praying and having conversation with God about, then we're not putting our faith into action. And so that has been my task, right? That has been what I've been focusing on, more so the thoughts than the speech, because I'm slow to speak sometimes. I'm really slow to speak sometimes. More often than not, I'm slow to speak, except when I'm trying to be funny. Now, when I'm trying to be funny, child, I just say whatever. But when I'm trying to be, and I should still be very cautious and wise of the words that I use then, because foolish words are still words that are put out, right? And it can shift. I may know that it's a joke, but depending on who's in the room, that may not be so. So I am slow to speak. However, it is my thoughts. So it's connecting. My faith is being activated, and I'm practicing my faith and trying to build endurance in my faith to make my subconscious and my conscious meet at all times, which is a difficult thing sometimes. So as we move forward, just remember and be conscious of your subconscious. Be conscious of those thoughts that just come out of nowhere, that we have seemed to tuck away, that we thought we removed, that kind of rebirth or arise when we least expect it, and changing our thought pattern based on the word of God. That is my challenge to you. That is my challenge for me. We will get through this. Practice in our faith. and enduring.